What's good, people? It's your boy Rhino. Welcome to MGTV. This is Let's Talk United. If this is your first time watching and you haven't already, subscribe, put post notifications on. If this is not your first time watching and you haven't subscribed, still subscribe and put post notifications on, please. And like the video, man. We're going to talk about Manchester United. Crisis at Manchester United. Listen, it's not happy times at the club right now. There's a lot of things going on, and I feel like last season papered over a lot of the cracks. So I'm very optimistic and very calm and collective as I always am with in regards to the progress that we're making at Man United. I want to talk about Andre Onana as well. Should he be dropped? What are my thoughts on him? Should Ten Hag be sacked? What are my thoughts on that? There's a lot going on. Make sure you leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts as well as we progress through the video. And yeah, just sit tight and let's have a proper serious conversation. I want to talk with my fellow United fans, and I would obviously love to get a perspective from the rival fans as well. But do you know what it is for me? I'll start with just the general situation that we are at as a club. We are in very, very dark times. I remember the season before last when we had our lowest point total, and right now there's so many stats flying around, and this is the worst thing since this time, and this hasn't happened since this manager and all of that. And it's all good, it's all fine and dandy, but I feel like it's been blown out of proportion. Yes, we have to analyze it to a degree, and we have to kind of be concerned with certain things. Like, for example, Man United not losing their first two Champions League games ever, and just little things like that. But for me, times are changing, and there's a lot of positive stuff that Ten Hag has done. I understand that there's a lot to criticize, but I feel like we're easily forgetting what he did last season. And yes, there's a lot of blame for him not fully implementing his style and the favourites and all of that stuff, which we're going to talk about later. But for me, right now, the club is just in a mess right now, and I have no expectations. Every game we play, home or away, big team, small team, bogey team, I'm not having no expectations. And I wish I did a watch along for the Brentford and United game, because the way I watched that game, I wasn't expecting nothing at all. Literally, I wasn't expecting nothing. I literally just watched the game. I said, "Oh, that's happening. Oh, this is happening. Oh, we scored. Probably going to be marked offside." Martial's attempt was offside. McTominay scored the first goal, the equalizer. I said, "Oh, yeah, something's probably going to go against us." Luck hasn't been on our side, and luck plays a valuable part in football as well. I don't want to necessarily blame luck, but it's definitely fine margins when it comes to certain things. But yeah, we're just at a stage where the club is just in a mess, from the football ground to the changing room to the ownership to some of the players. Jadon Sancho situation. We've got the Anthony situation still happening. We've got the ownership situation. We've got all the pressure on Ten Hag as well. The whole favoritism, the way the media are blowing a lot of things out of proportion. So there's a lot of things happening, and it's just it's not an easy time. But I've come to the conclusion. Like I said, I'm not expecting nothing, and for me, I just know it's dark times, and I'm hoping that Ten Hag can turn a new leaf and start some positivity, within the club. But it just is what it is right now, man. I'm gonna be literally, like I said, every game I'm just going to be reserved and in the middle. I'm not gonna be positive. Yes, I might, like let's say the lineup comes out. I might look at the lineup and say, okay, this seems like a decent lineup, or you know, I might give my perspective on a few things and criticize certain things. But other than that, I'm not expecting nothing. I am not expecting nothing. So I just want to see Ten Hag slowly fix the problems. I want him to win the dressing room back in a sense where I feel like he has lost a part of the dressing room. Um, One important thing about the goal and the win, the goals that we scored in the Brentford game and the win, it looked like everyone stuck together and celebrated together, and it meant a lot for the players. Like everyone was hugging each other. Onana came and he was like, "Yes, thank you." Like everyone looked happy and united, you know. So I feel like that win was definitely very important in regards to, bringing some positive atmosphere to the dressing room, and in regards to just some sort of positive news going into the international break. Hopefully Ten Hag can sit down, he can work with the players that are going to be there, and we can start to see some positive results. So that's what I'm on right now. I just want to see slow, positive steps in the right direction. And I know it's not going to be easy. And I always say this, last season we were spoiled because we had so many problems last season. We had the Ronaldo saga. We had issues with players turning up late and not having the right attitude. What else happened as well? We had the situation with what else happened last season again? I have to look through the list. But I know the Ronaldo season was a big saga. The whole interview, all of that stuff. And slowly we had murmurs of the ownership and what's happening with that as well. And that's happening while Ten Hag is still at the club. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like a normal season, when a manager comes into a team, he's going to have setbacks. But we had setbacks plus extra issues, and Ten Hag still managed to get third, irregardless of what the other teams did and what kind of league we had that season, all of that stuff. Third in a trophy. So that papered over a lot of the cracks. That papered over a lot of the problems that we do have. We still weren't playing the right style of football, We still weren't as convincing in our away games. Our away record was awful, especially against the top 9, not even the top 6 or the top 4, the top 9, from what I remember. So there was still a lot of issues happening, and we still managed to get to a good place and have a good feel factor. We ended the season on a high, solidified top 4, got into the Champions League, and everything was rosy. But we can't forget the issues that are still at the club, the problems at the stadium, the problems with just our scouting system and all of that stuff, the way we buy players, all of that. January, us having terrible loans and all of that stuff. So you've got the Anthony issues, you've got the Sancho issues, you've had Ronaldo, you've had the ownership issues, and we are yet to see a style of play. We're having problems with favoritism and players not being happy and all of that stuff. There's so much going on. So for me, it's like, look at the issues he's dealing with on top of just having to settle in to the Premier League and get used to it, making that transition from the Dutch league into the Premier League. He has to focus on that, learn on the go, because yes, he has got experience in the Champions League and he has got experience with winning, but it's still the Eredivisie. So I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, 1 minute they want to use the Eredivisie to say that it's not a good league and why are we excited, and he's only come from the Dutch league and the players he's got, Martinez, is only from the Dutch league." But then next minute you want to say, "Oh, but Ten Hag has experience. He's won the Dutch league loads of times and he's done this and that." Which one's which? Is the Dutch league good, and is that the credibility Ten Hag has because he's won with the Dutch league and he's been in the Champions League final or semi-finals and whatever, and he's won several titles? Are we going to use that to say that he's a good coach and he's got good experience, or are we going to now say the Eredivisie is not a good league? Which one's which? For me, I'm going to remain consistent. Yes, it's the Dutch league. You can't expect a lot from it in terms of winning mentality and having good coaching skills and doing a lot for the club. Yes, Ten Hag has credit in the bank with that. But at the same time, he had a structure around him. He had Overmars, he had Van der Sar, he had everyone pulling together to make the right decisions. Whether it's what players are bought, the prices and stuff, the type of players that you go for. You know, we don't have Ten Hag doesn't have that at Manchester United. So he's come to this club trying to learn the league, trying to implement what he can do. Yes, he's run away from his philosophy, but at the same time, he doesn't have the structure around him, and that's a big problem. So we have to remember all the factors that play a part into why Ten Hag's tenure at Manchester United is not going to be the normal tenure like, say, a Klopp has or Pep has or Arteta has. Yes, there's different circumstances and people are always making comparisons, but at the end of the day, you know, one thing you can criticize Ten Hag on was just sticking to his philosophy and his style, but a lot of things are happening and it's just pressure, man. You can see that Ten Hag has changed since the start of the season to how he was when he first started the season, when his presence and his aura and just the way he speaks compared to now. But I feel like we still need to give him time. A lot of people do feel like he needs to be sacked, and a lot of people still do want to keep him. I respect both opinions, but at the same time, for me, I just think he needs time. And unfortunately, time is not afforded in this era of football. People just want things here and now. So as United fans, we need to stick together and support the manager. Yes, if we don't agree with something, let's criticize, but let's back him and support him. Let's allow him to have as much time as he needs. And then when we get to a certain stage of the season where we can say, okay, you know what, time's done. You've had enough. Cool. Then we can start to say, okay, you know what, maybe he needs to be sacked. Yes, we need to look at players like Bruno Fernandes, look at players like Marcus Rashford, look at players like Onana. Should Onana be dropped? I think Onana needs our support as well. Yes, he's had a few clangers, butterfingers. There's saves that he should be making. But at the same time, we need to give him time. Because how I see it is it's similar to Ten Hag. It's his first season into the league. He's coming to a team that is disjointed. There's no structure. There's no style of play. He hasn't come into a system where he can just slot in and do what he needs to do. He's under a lot of pressure. He's under a lot of scrutiny. He's under, being the goalkeeper at a club like Manchester United is a big task. So at the same time, yes, he's not helping himself. Like I said, Ten Hag's not helping himself by certain decisions he makes, even though there's certain circumstances as to why we should have patience. But it's the same for me with Onana. I feel like Onana's not helping the situation. Easy saves that he should be making, he's not making. So, like, that's not going to help. And we bought him because we know he's good in the ball. And we're starting to see him run away from a few of his principles, but that's because he's not used to taking. Sorry, my nose is itchy. That's because he's not used to taking a lot of pressure. He's used to his back four being calm and collective and controlling the game. So Onana for me, yes, we need to get behind him. We need to support him. We need to give him time, but he needs to brush up with the basics. He really needs to improve on that. It's funny that the two players that we didn't want at the club, Maguire and McTominay, are the two players that are seeming to save us. Maguire got the assist at the end. McTominay scored 2 goals. He literally bought Ten Hag some time. Crazy, man. So it's just funny how things work out because Maguire didn't want to leave. Well, he wanted to leave, but there wasn't the right circumstances. McTominay seemed like he wanted to leave as well. But I think the players want to leave and they don't want to leave. Right now, the way Maguire's feeling, the way McTominay is feeling, do they still want to leave? Are they feeling like there's a place for them in the squad? People are saying, let's start he's now worth a starting place just because he scored 2 goals. I'm grateful and I'm happy that he can step up to the plate and turn up in a game that means a lot for us. But at the same time, how consistent is he going to be? Are we going to start him next game and he's going to go revert back to type? A lot of these players revert back to type. So if he starts, I would understand, but I'm not one person to say all of a sudden he needs to start. He's the best thing since sliced bread. He's going to change our midfield. Ten Hag just needs to start playing the right systems, playing the right players, and making sure that when players are not playing well, like he did for Casemiro, like he did for Rashford, drop them. You know, I do think there's times Bruno should come off, regardless of the fact he's our captain. Just pass the captain ban on. It don't matter. He's not having a good day. Pass him on. I get he can pull out, stocks out of the hat. He can pull out like good opportunities out of the hat. He could be quiet all game and he could pull out one good opportunity, which we did see in the Brentford game. That was a great free kick from Bruno, headed down by Maguire, headed in by McTominay. McTominay was brought on for the height and for the fact that he can score headers like that. So Ten Hag definitely got that right. So hopefully just the whole vibe and the winning mentality starts to brew through Manchester United. And I want to see a positive kind of spell where we kind of start to win games, where we start to pick up points, and the morale and the kind of vibes at the club start to go in a positive direction. I want to see good morale, good attitude, good like, you know, when you're watching the players and they look like they want to win, they look hungry and they're working for it. You know, I don't want to see heads down. I don't want to see us scoring and conceding within 5 minutes. And this whole 20-minute curse that we've got, where I believe between 20 and 30 minutes, we play good for 20 minutes, and then after 20 minutes, between 20 and 30 minutes, we always concede. That curse needs to break as well. But yeah, I think that's about it from what I can remember I wanted to talk about. But there's definitely a crisis at Manchester United. There's definitely a lot that has to change, and I'm accepting it. I'm a patient fan. I'm numbing myself to the pain because at the same time, it's not a nice feeling, you know. But I don't want to set my expectations too high because that's what's going to hurt even more. So I've accepted it. We are in the mud. We are not going to play good football. We are not going to beat the teams we're expected to beat. But Ten Hag needs to start turning around and start bringing back the faith so we can start beating these teams. We can start playing better football. But I feel like he first needs to be ruthless with when he's dropping players and pick the players that are going to be best for the game. Literally. But that's all I've got to say, people. Leave a like on the video if you haven't already. Hopefully you watch through this whole video. Subscribe if you haven't. Put post notifications on. And as always, let me know what you think in the comments. And tell a friend to tell a friend. Subscribe to Rhino MGTV. I talk straight up and I just give it as it is, you know. But yeah, big up my current subscribers and the love that you guys show. And like I said, we're transitioning this channel into more of a football channel and a podcast channel and a talk show, you know what I'm saying? Where we can debate stuff and we can have sensible conversations. So yeah, man, let's get it, man. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe if this is even if this is not your first time watching, still subscribe, please. Put post notifications on. And like I said, tell a friend to tell a friend. It's your boy Rhino and I'm out. Peace.
Hey, I swear firms and rents pattern this.